You are now tuned into Mixstation Radio Live. The views and the opinions of the guests and the hosts you hear on Mixstation Radio Live are not necessarily those of the staff and the management of Mixstation Radio Live, its sponsors, or advertisers.
Hello? Hello. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to Royale Urban Media, where everyone meets royalties. All right, everybody, I am here with Darnell, activist and social commentator. And I also have Antoine. He's an actor, writer, and social commentator, guys. We have a treat for you today. We have Tyree Huddleston here. He's an entrepreneur and author of Dope Boy Fresh But Dead Broke. So we're going to be asking him some questions today. We're going to get a background of his book. This is an amazing project. We're super proud of him. This is a talent that not everybody have. So we're just going to go ahead and give him the exposure that he needs and deserves. Everybody, welcome Mr. Tyree. How are you today?
I'm doing great.
That's awesome. Can you hear? Hello? Okay.
I can hear. Can you hear me?
I hear you. Thank you. Okay, so before we get started, I just wanted to read a small part of the book, if that's okay with you.
Absolutely.
Okay, and then we'll just dive into the questions, all right?
Sure.
All right, so it says, the phrase "dope boy fresh" refers to the corner boys that were often viewed through a lens of always having money and always wearing new clothes. Oftentimes, reality is sacrificed for a perception that brings credence to these young men by their peers in an otherwise negative situation. As hard as this concept might be to understand for some, when all you have to show for your worth as a human being is the clothes you wear, the car you drive, that's what you do, unfortunately. While we point the finger to them for their antics, that speaks to us, all humans, that other human has felt the need to find their worth in an article of clothing. When that became the norm for so many, we all failed. Wow. Okay, so my first question for you, Mr. Tyree, did you always want to become an author?
No, I can't say that I did. I always wanted to make a change. I always wanted to make an impact.
Okay.
I just didn't know exactly through what medium that was going to happen.
Awesome. Okay. So what inspired you to write this book particular?
Well, this book was kind of like a pivot. I was running a business in 2014 out of state, and the whole project started really because my kids were back in Baltimore. I was living in Pittsburgh, where I'm kind of like bouncing between both cities right now.
Okay.
And my kids were back in Baltimore and away from me, and I'm a very involved dad, so it was my first time away from them for a significant amount of time. And I was going through a period of depression from being apart from them and being away from them. And it started out in a series of letters that I started writing to my kids. And the original project that I was working on was called Letters to My Sons. And during that whole period of time, what really started happening to me through trying to run this business was I was really diving into my own personal education. I was running a business for the first time in my life, especially like the type of business that it was a marketing firm. And I had over 33 employees at one point in time, right? So I had a lot of social responsibility placed on my shoulders that I had never had before. And all the information that I was learning through books and things like that, through audio books and lectures and conferences that I was going to, started to like change my perception, and it started to craft a new me. And sometimes when you're going through a metamorphic change personally, there's not a lot of people around you that are going through that same type of change simultaneously. So there's not really many people that you can talk to about all of the new things that you're learning. It's just sometimes you can bombard people with too much information. They're just not ready for it. And I had to find a way, something to channel all this new information that I was finding that was helping me out, to kind of channel it into. So that's where this came from.
Awesome. Okay, so I'm just going to assume you definitely do encourage your sons to write a book as well. Like,
I, I just encourage, one of the things that I just want to be a influence to my family. You know what I mean? Not just my sons. Anybody in my family, I want to just let me be the spark, you know, let me be the spark for my family doing something great. And that's really where it's at. If they wrote a book, that'd be great, because I feel like every generation should kind of pick up where the left one left off.
That's
So
true. That's true. Wow, that is very commendable, first and foremost. And I just really appreciate you for even, sharing with us. Everybody handles, the way they teach their children differently. And the letters is beautiful to me. I like to write too. So that's awesome. Okay, I will also like to know, so the process from start to finish, the ideas, the writing, editing, publishing, is the process what you expected or more or less? Like, how is that going for you?
um, this project really took probably about 3 years altogether, because I'm not a writer. I wasn't a writer. This is my very first project. So I had to reach out to some consultants. Shout out to Sadiq Ali, a good friend of mine. He's an author of Millionaire Manners. If you can, go and get a chance to look at his book, it's really good. Really good for teaching young men etiquette. But I consulted with him through this project, because I knew he had already been down this path before that I was actually venturing. And he gave me a lot of insight. He helped me kind of hone the brand that you see. I've got, my website is www.awakenedblackman.world. So it was through, reaching out to some mentors, some consultants that kind of helped me craft this entire project together and make it more than just a book. This project for me is like a movement, because I feel like this topic is extremely important and needed in our community. And in order for our community to get to the next level, or the level where our community wants to be at, we've got to tackle financial literacy. So
That's true. That is very true. So in the book, you do discuss, like how people should, well, mainly guys, because I see it's mainly directed to guys, but I do feel like some females can learn from this as well.
absolutely.
So is it more so directed towards like credit or saving money or like investing? Where are you with that?
Well, I didn't stick to just one topic.
Okay, good.
The whole concept of the book is like, I tell my story, right? So I tell my story, which was a story of fashion was always kind of like a passion for me, I guess. In my younger years, I modeled. I had the privilege to model
I heard.
throughout Baltimore.
Nice.
Yeah, throughout Baltimore. For if you guys know the Travis Winky Model Agency and some and some other agencies periodically. But I transitioned I went to all boy private school. I went to Cardinal Gibbons, from middle school all the way to like the 10th grade.
Wow.
And in 10th grade, I transferred over to Votech, Carver Votech, and that's where I graduated from. And there were two very different worlds, that I encountered during that transition. During my time in private school, I was khakis, polo shirt, uniform every single day, and that kind of stuck with me. You know what I mean? I was a church kid, so I literally went between the church and school, and my attire was pretty much the same between both. And transitioning back into a co-ed public school where, one, I hadn't been in class with females in about 4 years, 4 or 5 years.
Wow.
That was a difficult transition.
I'm so sure.
Right. But then on top of that, not really having the clothes, I didn't have any street clothes, and I went into Carver at the time. It was like a fashion show every single day. So for my first year, I kind of felt out of place because I didn't fit in. And that's kind of where it came from. In the book, I talk about just really finding and getting comfortable with your identity. And there's so many people that don't really have an identity of themselves. The identity they portray is that which society deems acceptable. And, you know, and we kind of fall into that rut, and it becomes a never ending cycle until you're, you know, late in your life, when you realize that, you know, everything that you have is strictly because of an image that you tried to portray.
That's true. That is very true. Do you feel like your sons model that same kind of the same way that you were with like fashion? Are they into fashion at all?
I've got one son that is a bit into fashion. My other son could really care less. My kids are musicians, so you know what I mean.
Nice.
They're creative. They're creative souls. So, you know, the creatives, you know, they kind of just do their own thing, and you know, that's how they are.
That's awesome. Okay, is there anything that you want the audience to know before reading the book?
I give you a different perspective to think about money, right? Like I said, I talk to you from my perspective, based off of my story, which was, it became habit forming. The habit of spending money and spending more money than I had, spending my paychecks before I got them, and just years of bad spending habits that almost broke me. And, you know, on top of that, it's a mindset that I had to change, right? So I talk about the mentality piece that you have to come to in order to be able to receive the information, right? Because there's a lot of information that you can give, and there's financial literacy information all over the place, and people talk about it all the time. But if you are not in the mind space to receive something new, a different perspective of how to go about doing things, a different perspective of how to go about managing your funds, investing, then nothing that anybody's going to say to you is going to change you. So
That is true. That is very, very, very true. Thank you for that. Okay, so when is the release date for your book, and where can we look to purchase?
well, the book is available right now for pre-order on www.awakenblackman.world. You can go on there right now and you can pre-order the book. I've made the book very reasonable during this pre-order period. It's only $10.99.
Oh wow.
So you can order it right there. Even if you don't, like I said, my target audience for this book is the 17 to 25-ish male population, inner city. That's like my target demographic. But as you said, I feel like everybody can benefit from something in the book. You know, whatever, there's something for everybody in there. So even if you are not in that demographic, but if you have someone that you love that's very close to you in that demographic that you feel could benefit from some, you know, from somebody else's story. Growing up in inner city Baltimore, I grew up right in Southwest Baltimore and in Westport, right? So, you know, I'm a kid from the projects, right? That it took me a long time to really learn this and get to the point where I'm at right now. So.
Right. Okay. Wow. Well, thank you guys. Did you have any questions? I mean, I could go all day. Y'all know how I do.
Well, I just wanted to make a statement. Since I've created books myself, I really appreciate.
I can't hear him.
Here.
I can't hear him.
All right. So, pretty loud. So, as a guy that has, you know, created a book myself, I really appreciate and support that you're creating a book. And yeah, I just wanted to congratulate you on that.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
And congratulations to you as well.
Thank you. All right.
Antoine?
I think it's very important that we, as black people, learn how to manage our money correctly. And I think that it's amicable that you've written the book targeted to black men, yes. But again, I think that the black population can take from this as well. So I think it's a very awesome thing that you've done. You made it affordable. So I would encourage everybody who watches Rum TV to go out and purchase a copy.
Absolutely. If you're on this live, you're watching this show, go ahead and purchase awakenblackman.world. Okay, we do have a caller on the line, so we're going to go ahead and answer that. Hi, who do we have today?
Hello?
Hello, hi. Who do we have today? Welcome to Rum TV.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Of course.
My name is Tyree Huddleston, the fourth.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing well. Doing well.
You can ask whenever you're ready to, whatever you want to ask. You can say whatever you have to say.
Hello?
Are you there? Can you hear me?
Not very clearly.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, one moment.
So,
Can you hear me a little better now?
yeah, I hear you better now.
Okay, so you can ask whatever you like to ask. We're listening.
I just want to come over here and support my dad.
Oh,
Let him know what I think. Let him know what he's doing is great. And I support it 100%.
that is so sweet. Yay. Thank you so much for calling in. That is, wow. Look at you. Look at, oh, round of applause. You know
I'm
this,
the one that doesn't care about how clothing.
you say you're the one that what?
He's the one that doesn't care about fashion.
Oh, honey. Look, it's okay. Look, fashion isn't everything. It's beautiful, but it's not everything. So that's okay. Look, your dad got you and your brother.
For sure, right?
Thank you so much for calling in. Do you want to add anything else?
No, that's all.
Thank you for calling in. Stay tuned to Rum TV. That was so sweet. Thank you, Mr.
I really
Tyree.
appreciate that.
That was awesome. That has to be a beautiful feeling, support from your family. You have tons of support from us, so we're going to be promoting this for you, like, no doubt. I'm going to have, my son only 5, but I'm going to have to pre-order this book for him because this is definitely one to keep on the shelf,
For sure. I was on an interview yesterday, and I was saying that one of the big things is I'm a huge audiobooks fan. Audiobook is like, I'd say audiobooks have really saved my life because I was not an avid reader, but I spent a lot of time in my car for work and just putting books on. It was the information I couldn't help but it sinking in, and even my kids, when they get in the car with me, I know for a period of time and probably still, they get tired of listening to books, but sometimes I'll cut the music off and, I'll just ride and let a book play, just so the information is sinking in. So.
Wow, that is very commendable, and I even appreciate you and thank you for that. Thank you so much. Now, I do want to ask one more question. I'm sorry, before we let you go.
Sure.
This book, is it a hard copy or can we get it like an ebook as well, or?
So what I'm doing, I want reviews. I'm in need of reviews on the website, right? Because I don't want it just to be my word that what I put together is an impactful project. I like the reviews from other people. So if there are any avid readers that are on here that are interested in a digital version, in exchange for an official review on the website, please email me, send me a message in the website link, in the comment section. Let me know. You can email me directly at tyreehuddleston@gmail.com. And just let me know if you are willing to, read the book, read the digital version and give me an official review. I'll shoot it right over to you. I'm one that I don't want to hide the information. I'm not really looking for the profit right now. The profit will come. That's why I've made it so affordable. But I believe in the mission, and I believe that the mission is more important than the profit. So.
Amen. Well, we support your mission wholeheartedly, and we thank you so much. Everybody, we have Mr. Tyree, entrepreneur and author of Dope Boy Fresh But Dead Broke. You guys can definitely pre-order this at awakenblackman.world. It is on sale right now for $10.99. Go ahead and support. Let's give a round of applause for Mr. Tyree. We thank you so much. Please, I will be ordering this, okay? Thank you so much.
I appreciate it.
And we will see you next time on Rum TV. Please come back.
I will. Thank you very much.
All right. Have a good one, okay?
All right. Thank you. I thought I was sticking around for this discussion.
Whoa. Would you like to?
Sure. Why not?
Whoa. Oh, man. Give it up again for Mr. Tyree. Yes, okay, thank you so much. All right, so we're going to do a quick music break, and then we're going to jump right back into this topic, okay? So stay tuned. Don't go nowhere, okay?
Sounds good.
Okay, so the name of the song we have is coming from Doc Frost, Paycheck to Paycheck. You probably heard it on 92Q. You can definitely find it on YouTube, iTunes. Go ahead and support Doc Frost. Y'all, Paycheck to Paycheck. We're playing it now.
Oh yeah. Wake up in the morning, but I start my 5 to 3. Yeah. One thing on my mind, and that's bring back home some money. Rent due, phone due, car due, insurance due. If I got a little left, I probably buy a pair of shoes. Probably see a movie, I take my girl to eat. Cause I ain't missed a day on my job this whole week. I even took a night shift just to earn some extra cash. But though I think I'm making 6 affairs about to have. Minimum wage making, I'm cheap, I ain't caking. Anyone ask for money, I'm broke, I ain't breaking. Not allowed to have overtime, really mess up the grind. Gotta find me a second job, but half ain't even behind. But it's Friday, thank God it's Friday. My check gon' be fat, ain't have no off days. Call up my bank, I got direct deposit. But taxes left $200 in my pocket, man. 1 check, 2 check, 3 check, 4. My check looks good, I think I earned a little more. My bank ain't fleet, check account get low. My savings empty for the people that I owe. I worked all week and I could barely pay bills. I just wanna be rich so I could pay every bill. I'm living paycheck to paycheck, and I pray I get it all back. I work hard, I'm on time, I'm practically praised. But it's all fun and games when I ask about a raise. I was winning, but I'm about to take a loss. Any plan that I had to put it on pause. Paycheck so whack, I ain't got enough for gas. So a couple people money, I ain't even trying to ask. But some people owe me, told me they ain't got the guap. But I see them posting pictures at the club buying shots. I just cut them off and press them up. Friendship out the door, let it go. Now I'm scared position for more dough. Life is crazy, trying to find out how we got to this. Telling myself, not to stress, I get out of this, I'm back to work. Fresh start on another week, ramen noodles was the only thing I ate this week. The week was cool. Can't wait till my day off. 2 days before my beat, they got a call. Hey, you laid off. 1 check, 2 check, 3 check, 4. My check looks good, I think I earned a little more. My bank ain't fleet, check account get low. My savings empty for the people that I owe. I worked all week and I could barely pay bills. I just wanna be rich so I could pay every bill. I'm living paycheck to paycheck, and I pray I get it all back. Bank account on 0, tomorrow probably negative. I'm just trying to turn something negative to positive. Anyhow, somehow I made it through. Cause by the grace of God, I had the strength to go through. Just because I live success doesn't mean I ain't struggling. Cause I was collecting unemployment and the deepness of trouble. Even in the rain, I can still wear a smile. I be on top of the world and I ain't never come get down, you dig? 1 check, 2 check, 3 check, 4. My check looks good, I think I earned a little more. My bank ain't fleet, check account get low. My savings empty for the people that I owe. I worked all week and I could barely pay bills. I just wanna be rich so I could pay every bill. I'm living paycheck to paycheck, and I pray I get it all back.
All right, y'all, we are back. That was Doc Frost, y'all, okay, with Paycheck to Paycheck. Definitely support him. Check that out. Download if you can. All right, y'all. We getting into the topic of the show, okay? I've already been getting some dirty looks because of this, but I feel like we first off, we have every right to discuss this, okay? Mm-hmm. All right. This is our show, okay? We talking about our people, so we can do what we want to do up in here, okay? Oh,
Station,
that's what we talking about.
By black for black.
Exactly. Okay, so the topic is the love for black people, y'all. The love for black people is scarce, okay? Mm-hmm. And it's really, really, really sad. And, you know, as we're getting close and closer to the last days, y'all, I know some people don't want to, you know, talk about that, but we are getting closer. black people are being put on the back burner. Like, we are being completely discriminated against, like, it's just so much to even, I can't even. Look, the first thing we're going to talk about, y'all, I want to talk about these Caucasian parents, right, that have these biracial children, and they hate black people. How do you have biracial children and you don't like half of what your child is? Like, if you ask me, I think that person should just go ahead and get locked up. I'm sorry. Y'all go ahead and weigh in what you want to say about that, but I ain't for it.
Well, this is what I had to weigh in and say. I feel like a lot of Caucasians have a fetish for black people.
Ooh.
Like, they don't necessarily love black people, but they see them as the prize or something, or like a piece of meat that they can just dispose of at whenever they want, or a toy that they can use. And I will also say that this is probably a bit controversial, but it's not, because they have low fertility rates, and they basically need black people and other minorities to reproduce and keep themselves alive, basically, on the planet, since they have such low fertility rates. And it's about preserving genetics as well. That's all I have to say.
I mean, not only that, but it was us black women that was nursing y'all white babies back in the day. But I'm sorry, that's a topic for another time. Go ahead, Antoine.
So, why are we not saying white? Why are we saying Caucasian?
I was trying to keep it, PG, but no.
Caucasus.
You're Caucasus.
I was going to say that. Caucasoids, like. Maybe.
So, I have friends that have white spouses.
Ooh.
And they have mixed children.
Okay.
And they are beautiful.
Yeah.
I don't understand. I'm trying to say this correctly.
Are you just trying to say it in a way that everybody's gonna?
So my phone don't blow up. I think there is a cloud over some white people's eyes.
Okay.
To where when they're with a person of color, they view it like everything's okay. It's the same as having the idea of, I'm not racist, I have a black friend.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And for them, they have just been immersed in a culture and immersed in this idea of America being so great and everything's okay. You guys got civil rights. There's nothing wrong. There's no systemic racism. So when black people say something or challenge their idea of their reality of what America is or what their life system is, they get offended.
Ooh.
Because being white essentially is equal to being American. So even when you challenge the country, you're challenging whiteness.
Ooh.
Sure.
Okay.
So I think part of the problem is they identify so richly with being American that anytime we challenge or we voice our experience in America, they feel like it's an attack against them. And not just an experience that we're having. Your experience can be vastly different than what our experience is. And no one's saying your experience was wrong, but we're just speaking from our perspective of what our experience is. And we need you to see and listen to what our experience is. So I think a lot of times that it's no reflection upon how they feel about their children, but where they come from. And they try to make it seem like, or in their minds, that it's not for them. Because I don't come from that, so they can't possibly experience America this way until they experience it. Because there's still laws. There's still laws on the books that if you have an 8% of black in you, you're black. Period.
There
is no conversation.
We dominate.
Actually,
okay?
I think it's like the 16th, but you black. Now you get that 30-second, we can ignore it, act like it doesn't exist. But for the most part, you're black, and we're going to treat you as if you're black.
Well, I think it's really hard for the children because it's like, hey, you're my parent, and this is who I am. I didn't tell you to go be with my other black, my black parent and make me. I didn't ask to be here. So when you make your child feel less than, or they're not worthy, or they're not on your level, I mean, like, you don't deserve to be a parent of a biracial child. I'm so sorry. Mr. Tyree, would you like to weigh in on this? Biracial children and their white parents who hate them?
Sure. I'm actually glad to be on here. So my children are not biracial, but my fiance is white.
Oh, okay.
Right. And so I've never, and I mean, I'm sure that it exists as far as, disparities in families, but I think that's just a disparity in family situation.
Okay.
I think every situation is unique. I think a lot of it has to do with exposure, just your exposure in general, right? Because there are black people, even in our communities, that just don't have exposure to certain communities, from one side of town to another side of town. And, you know what I mean? Living in Baltimore, you know what I mean? People in West Baltimore have a mindset of what people in East Baltimore are like, if they've never been to East Baltimore and met people, and vice versa, right? So I think a lot of it has to do with exposure. It's really important to like have that exposure and diversity, right? Not just between white and black, but between all races, all cultures. And through that exposure, that's when things start to change, things start to open up, because you start to realize that stereotypes and prejudices and walls start to be broken down.
That's very true.
Yeah, and like I said, I'm really thankful, because it started out at an early age for me, again, because I went to an all-boy private school, and you know what I mean, and this was, there wasn't a ton of black people there when I went there, but I was kind of like thrown in and emerged into a very diverse culture, and it's just kind of become a part of my life now.
I understand. Okay, well, thank you for that. Now, this next bulletin, I suppose, it kind of ties in with the biracial children and the white parents. I came across this post on Facebook that basically said, you can't be pro-black with a white wife or husband. Before I even go in on how I feel about that, I would love to hear from you guys. So, Darnell, we can start with you. We could just go around the table.
So, my answer to that question is no. I mean, hold on, wait. Oh, wait, hold on. Let me read the question.
Okay.
Read the question first, now.
Let me read it. As you can't be pro-black with a white wife or husband. I actually agree with that statement, because let's look at the definition of pro-black. Let's have the analogy that we're either pro-life or pro-choice. If you're pro-life, you're all for babies not being aborted, and you stand behind that 100%. And let's say you're pro-choice, you're for abortions and you're behind that 100%. So, with that being said, pro-black, you're 100% for black economics, black family, black
business,
all sorts of things.
Okay.
And I'm gonna make this disclaimer: I'm not saying you can't love black people and date a white person or marry a white person.
No, that's exactly what you're saying.
Damn sure that's what you said.
if you pro-black, though, you said.
Yeah, if you're pro-black,
okay,
you can't have a white wife or husband, and that's just my stance on it. Is just going down to the analogies of political terminology, which is like pro-life or pro-choice. You're behind something 100%, and you're 100% behind black people, and we all have our individual choices at the end of the day. And that's just my analogy on that question.
Okay.
So let me push back on you a little bit, because I don't think that it's so extreme. I think that there is nuance. Just like being pro-life is not just about being against abortion, but it's against execution in prisons. It's about all life being precious. Just like being pro-choice, you can also believe that all life is precious, but I don't have the right to tell you what you're going to do. It's your choice.
Right.
So you can be both. It's not either or. It's and both. The same with being pro-black. You say you can't be pro-black and have a white wife. Now, In some places, I agree with that, but then how do we explain Frederick Douglass, who, at the point of his death, he was married to a white woman? So was he pro-black or was he against the black agenda? Because Frederick Douglass did so much for black people. So I have to challenge you on that before I give my 2 cents on that. So what do you say, Doc?
What do I say? What do I say? Like I said before, you can be for black people, but if you take away from the stance of being fully behind the black family, which is the evolution in the providing of the future of black people, do you really love black people that much?
All right, I love Dr. Umar Johnson, but you've been listening to him a whole lot.
Oh,
No, not actually. I don't.
You don't?
Dr. Umar Johnson is a fraud, but that's another discussion.
I love the black man, but that's another show. But
and Rum TV, we gonna make sure we have that on here.
all right, before I even say so, I'm gonna punt this on over to you, Tyrese. Go on, you handle that. Give me that word.
I can reread the post if you like. Would you like for me to reread it?
No, I read it. I read it earlier.
Oh, he got it. Oh, he got it. Excuse me, sir.
I definitely want to chime in on this. I want to throw out this perspective, right? As a male, right? To say that you can't be pro something and against something else would be to say I can't be pro male. I can't be pro being man. Like I'm not for men and not love women. Right? So think about it from that perspective, right? For me to say that I'm against men would be to shoot myself in the foot because I'm a man, right?
Okay.
But I'm attracted to women. I'm not attracted to men, right? So kind of take it from that perspective. I consider myself pro-black, and what pro-black means to me is that, yes, I want to see, I appreciate my ethnicity, right? I appreciate everything about my heritage. But because I appreciate everything about my heritage does not mean that I can't appreciate everything about somebody else's heritage, right? Everything from other people's heritage is not something to look at and villainize, right? Is there some things out there and are there some histories, you know what I mean, from, white America that are less desirable? Absolutely, right? I recognize I'm a black man in America as well, right? So I'm not foreign to that, but it does not mean that I can't still be pro African American, right? That's who I am first, right? So I love myself, I love my family, I love where I come from, but I also love my fiance's family, right? Tell you a story, just a little chime in about this, right? I was married prior, and my ex-wife was not white, right? So it wasn't like I just went, and I think this is the same thing for most people. For most people in interracial relationship, people feel like they are just predestined to be only with one type of person. That wasn't the case. What attracted me to my fiance was when I met her, she was a school teacher. My fiance, she's still a school teacher. I met her teaching in Baltimore City public schools. She taught in one of the roughest schools in Baltimore City, right down on Pennsylvania and Dolphin Street. If you guys know where Pennsylvania and Dolphin Street is, right? That is nothing but the projects, right? And, she's from the suburbs, the suburbs of Pennsylvania. So it's not like she was raised in that atmosphere, but her compassion, her character was what was attractive to me, right? And that's what I fell in love with. So I can absolutely be pro everything about my culture, and I can still love her and support her and love her family. I'm all about treating a person for their character more than by the color of their skin, and that's just the way I was raised.
Wow. Okay. I appreciate that. Okay. Oh, you got something to say, Don?
Yeah, I got something to say. I want to make this disclaimer. I'm not pro-black. I would say, well, let me make this.
What?
Can we say that on here?
I can say that. Hold on. This is we're pro-black. my my reasoning for that is that we had to be for every black person, and we know not every black person is the best.
That's true.
Yeah. So that's my discussion. I made like a new connotation of that. I'm pro-black evolution.
Okay.
So with that being
we're
said,
gonna have to speak on that.
That being
further.
said, no, you got to unpack that.
pro-black evolution is the restoration of the black community, whether it's through economics, family structure, business, politics, all sorts of things that where we rebuild and get back to how we were before slavery, basically.
So why the differentiation between pro-black and pro-black evolution?
So the differentiation is that we clean up the community of what is toxic as well. So you see such as like calling out toxic music, or calling out people that have been misleading the black community for years and decades, and things like that.
So problematic messaging that fuse our youth, that have them grow up, like, let's say, rap that degrades our women, this, that, and third, blah, blah, blah.
Oh
Okay,
my God, yes.
I can understand that. Okay, so continue with your thing.
Yeah, and what I say that with that being said, would I ever marry a white woman? No, that's just my statement. Because I feel like a black woman is the only person on the planet that will really love and appreciate me as a black man.
You think so? Mm-hmm. Well, you're entitled to your opinion. I honestly do feel like some women are just good women, man. Like, it doesn't matter if they're Asian, Indian, or whatever. Like, some of them women ride harder for black men than the black women, Like, I feel like some black women, because we're so strong, we're so like, oh, I'm going to do this. I see too many black women just putting themselves in predicaments where it's like, man, this was definitely avoidable, Yeah. And like, you can't, once a woman become a woman, you can't just be like, oh, change this, and she just change it. It got to be something, like someone said previously, it got to be taught, It got to be, what, Antoine? What?
Flag on the play. Flag on the... Ain't no such thing.
Okay.
Well, as a woman, a black woman, not...
Go ahead.
What did you say? Hold on. Wait, now I got to think.
Go ahead. Because it doesn't matter a
was...
woman's race, right? And some
You're right.
Some other races, women, they go harder for black men than some black women. Sue me if you like.
I ain't never met
one. And
one.
that's coming from a black woman, okay? Thank you. That's coming from, and Mr. Tyree can vouch too, right?
She go hard for me. She's one of my biggest supporters.
Amen. And we're not saying all of them. We're not, because some of them will put us 6 feet under, okay, quick. Right. So we're not talking about them. We're talking about the ones who earned their stripes, okay? So we can't just, sorry, Daddy, we can't just damn everybody, all women that's not black.
You say sorry. You used it correctly.
Because I know my parents are watching.
You used it correctly.
Oh, sorry, Mommy.
That was biblical. Anyway, so that being said, I love black women.
Okay.
They challenging at times.
Yeah.
But again, like last week, I told you guys about the book, the Willie Lynch letter.
Yeah.
And how it systemically broke down the black family. And displaced them. Mm-hmm. I think a result of that shows that black women and black men need more love for each other. Ooh. And they need to nurture and grow to break out of that mindset.
That is true.
So I think there is what's the word I'm looking for?
Uh-oh.
It's coming to me. It just left me. Don't worry about it. But I think it's important that the black family, the black man has a commitment to the black woman.
Okay.
Just as a mother has a commitment to her son. Or her husband. Let's say that.
Whoa.
So that's just me. And I'm not vilifying anybody that is in a biracial relationship or what have you. If they love you and you love them, go for it. Because if you black and they not, your child gonna be black. So we already talked about
and
that.
you're more dominant, so you cover all that. So Mr. Tyree, just not for you. We good here. We good, brother. We respect you, brother. We respect your union, man.
Plant your seed and be plentiful.
Hey, listen, hey, I'm open to all dialogue and conversations, man.
We appreciate that. We hope you hanging on strong to the show.
Oh, for sure.
Okay, I have one more thing to touch bases on before we wrap this up,
Sweet
y'all.
Black Jesus.
I don't know if everyone is familiar with Vince's Crab House. If I'm not mistaken, he has 3 locations that's about to become non-existent. God, please cover me. Don't let this man see me. But apparently. Apparently, this guy is he's not pro-black. I'll say that, okay? Yeah. So, and even though 75 to 80% of his business comes from black people, okay, he said some very disrespectful things about black people, saying something about slaves, and he was looking to hire somebody, and women was like, oh yeah, I want to apply, blah, blah. Yes, it was years ago, but it was still said, and even those years ago, all these years, he's made a buku load of money. So for those of you who do not know, a few weeks ago, everybody decided to go protest in front of this man's business, which is not his business. It's his father's business, if I'm not mistaken.
I would know.
That's what I heard. But
it's in the family.
It's in the family, yeah. So they're just a bunch of racist people. So
not a bunch. Not a bunch. We're talking about a one.
We talk about that family. We talk about that family, okay? So he made this weak and sorry apology or whatever. So he got shut down for like what? 9 days?
Yeah, it was
9 days.
like
you don't got to be scared because God is protecting us, okay? So get your black ass back over here. All right. So so it was a post basically saying yesterday that he was trying to get a black-owned business, another crab shop, shut down before it even opened. And I think that's completely dead wrong. And he is a hater, and he's upset because of what he did, and it came back on him, you know? So he is like basically on here, one of the hidden motives to put us out of business was so they can start their own crab house. They just signed the lease in the Target shopping center up the street. I'm sorry, shopping cent up the street, but it's supposed to be center. Woo! When you wanna come at somebody, make sure you come correct, okay? Also, he stated that he took the health department there right away, okay? Like, he wanted to make sure their operation, blank, slap, nothing, don't make no money. Again, he's a hater. Now, I know that we already know Antoine is scared to speak on the matter. Darnell, don't tell me you're going to jump on his bandwagon, brother.
I'm not scared. Like,
first of all, I ain't scared either. I'm just not trying to get sued.
Oh,
slander is real out here. I've been watching Judge Mathis and Judge G.
We got a disclaimer. I just made another disclaimer. God he's our judge. He's the judges of all judge. He is the only judge, okay? So put your man balls back on and say what you got to say.
That's true, but subpoena's real. That's all I got to say about it.
All right. So I feel like he's using the white supremacist tactic, or KKK tactic in better words, because he's not going to the extremes that they did. Mm-hmm. But if you ever heard of the phrase "killing the competition," that he's trying to kill the competition metaphorically, but it's connected to the KKK, literally lynching and killing black CEOs and entrepreneurs.
Yep.
So there's the connection right there, and he's just mad because he lost his black dollar, like 80% of his own profit.
Yep.
And he thought he could just get away with what he said with a BS apology, and he deserved everything that came to him. So
the comments are very ratchet. I don't know if you guys had some time to look through them, but they were really ratchet, and they're so bold with their disrespect and their hatred towards black people. We're talking about a crab house here.
Right.
You know, like, excuse me, just go ahead and steam your crabs. You guys have so much money. Go somewhere else. Go somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? Or go sell to your white customers. You know, they don't have no money. They talk about black people don't support black people, and these idiots don't even know that they just made this crab house like famous before they even opened. Like you just gave them, you know, that light that they needed. I'm sorry, Mr. Tyree, you got some stay on this, because this ain't right.
No. I mean, it's never right to discriminate. You
Right.
know what I mean? I'm definitely not an advocate for discrimination in any way. You know, as an entrepreneur, you know, we should be bigger than that in general, right? Because, you know, money is green and it's got no color, right? But unfortunately, sometimes people take their personal opinions and personal views into the workplace. You know, and this is an example, primary example of it. So, you know, I've never shopped at Vince's Crab House. I heard about the story a couple weeks ago, so I'm familiar with it. But you know, it's unfortunate that you know that community is going to lose an establishment that's probably been around for a while, and you know,
For sure. But I mean,
it is what it is.
People bring stuff on themselves, which brings me to my next. I don't know if Antoine done something to say.
Yeah.
You want to go?
So
Go
there's
ahead.
a couple things. Number one, what's done in the dark is always going to come to the light.
That's true. Amen,
So no
brother.
matter how long ago it was, this was bound to happen.
You're right.
Especially at this time where everything is so heightened and
You're
so
right.
sensitive. Wrong word, not sensitive, but hyper black awareness.
Okay,
Let's say that.
I'll take it.
Number two, the problem I have is that he called the health department. Why you automatically assume we dirty? Because this is what's bothering me. Black people, some of the cleanest people I ever met in my life.
What? Tell them again.
Because you can't eat over everybody's house.
No,
That's what
and we know that.
We learned that at home.
We know that. You don't put
So-
your lips on other people's stuff either.
First of all, disclaimer. I work with some people.
Okay.
And I'm not saying it's at my job or whether it's at my church or whatever the case may be.
Right,
whatever.
right.
I work in a lot of different places. But I've met a couple white people that smell like hot deer.
Oh Lord. Oh Lord. He
So
said
it's just
hot deer.
disrespectful that you automatically assume that we dirty. And you think that you're going to call the health department to shut down something that's going to begin. Like, no. Thirdly, this shows the power of the black dollar. If you respect your money and you respect yourself, then you know where your money is going to go. Your money is going to go to something that is respectful to you, that is going to support you. People, it's just a lot. It's just a lot. So Vincent or whoever it is, they brought this on themselves. Really, you brought it on yourself. Even if you were apologetic, your action's not really saying you're apologetic, because you're trying to get something shut down, this, that, and third, blah, 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 blah. Now, I won't go as far as saying that it's like systemic racism. I think this is capitalism at work. This is a business practice that has gone on, whether you white, black, Mexican, Latino, Hispanic, Oriental, Chinese, Japanese. This is definitely capitalism at work. This happens all the time, especially if you're not like a brand like McDonald's, Burger King, Chick-fil-A, this, that, and third, because you don't have the name recognition to speak for you.
You talking about the name recognition that's doing like human trafficking and all that bad stuff. I'm sorry.
I didn't even know where you went with that. That
Okay,
just went
sorry.
over my head. But yes,
These name brands that doing some hanking and panking,
Another
doing some
show.
bad stuff.
another show.
Okay. Stay tuned, y'all, for next Room TV.
Okay, I'm just gonna pass it
I'm
over
sorry.
there.
Go ahead.
You know,
No. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
But so I think this is just capitalism at work. His motives were definitely birthed out of racism, but the actions were strictly capitalism.
Yeah.
And should there be a law to change that? Yeah, but America loves that capitalism, and the likelihood of this changing is not going to happen. But we do hope that this crab house opens up. Do we know the name of the brother and the sister?
Pisces Crabs House? Pisces Crabs, I think. Yeah, Pisces.
Oh yeah, well we support you.
Oh yeah. We support you, baby. You know we got. I mean, I don't eat crabs like that no more, but I got you, okay? And you know my mom wants some.
Make sure they're good though. Make sure they're good.
All right, y'all. We have literally 3 minutes left. Is it 3? 3 minutes left for the show. 6 minutes? Oh, thank God we got 6 minutes, y'all. Okay, all right. I just want to talk about one more thing, okay? One more thing. Y'all, I am completely against... I asked this question before. What's the difference between ratchet and ghetto?
Nothing.
Really? Because the way it was explained to me was that ghetto, that's just what you are. That's just who you are. And they said ratchet, you can turn it on and off like a light switch.
What ghetto ratchet Ness told you that?
Yes. So this is where I'm getting with this, okay? I just feel like this whole pro-black type of thing, if it's meant that, you only support black people and it doesn't matter what they do and bring stuff on themselves, you support that, I'm not with that. Don't label me that, because I don't appreciate, especially seeing the women out there act crazy and, flaunting everything that should be covered up, fighting and yelling in men's face when they know you can't beat no man. Okay, you can't beat no man, but then you expect somebody to come and say, "Oh, don't hit this woman." Let's praise this black woman. No. I feel like a lot of you women should probably learn to just, turn the other cheek. You cannot beat everybody. You can beat your kids, absolutely. You probably can beat some other people, but a man, you need to not bark up that type of tree. I mean, don't bring stuff on yourself and then want to cry wolf and run and so y'all just saw him say hit me and say this. We saw it, but we saw what you did and what you said as well. So please just watch what you do, watch what you say. Yes, you're black. Yes, we're for black people, but don't use that as a crutch. Don't use that as a gateway to just do whatever you want to whomever you want. We ain't with that.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, I believe people use pro-black as a crutch to excuse their wicked behaviors because of the white man. Mm-hmm. At the end of the day. Because it stirs up this rhetoric that a white man is the devil, and black people can do no wrong because of what the white man has done.
That's not true. So
I do not like the idea of a black woman flaunting her body in a disrespect, in my view, as disrespectful.
Yeah.
The twerking.
Yeah.
All on social media.
I mean, you putting that out there, that's the attention you're going to get back. I mean, what?
I just personally do not like it, especially as a man that's looking for a woman.
Exactly.
Especially in life.
Yeah.
A partner. That's just a major turn off.
It's a turn off. It's a turn off.
Turn off for me. There are some men that do the same thing.
That's for sure.
And I'm not a woman, so I can't speak, but I assume.
I speak. I ain't with it. I don't like it.
Cool.
Stop.
I think the imagery is very detrimental to impressionable children.
That's true.
I think what Lizzo did at that game a couple months back.
Don't get us canceled, please.
Was
help us,
disgusting. It was trifling.
I mean, hello, you have a lot of people watching,
and people saying you can't say nothing that's fat shaming or body shaming.
I don't want to hear none of that.
Cool. If you appreciate your body, that's beautiful. Do that at home.
Hey, please.
I don't want to see it.
No, and neither does these 3-year-olds and these 5-year-olds that should be learning things that's actually going to help them in their future, not just keep them in the present time and say, oh, well, let me go ahead and experiment with it. No, you have to really watch the message that you're trying to put out into the world. These children are very impressionable. Not only that, some of these adults are very impressionable as well. That's so true. Sad. It's sad. But
and what's sad is, and I don't know if you have something to say on this, Tyree, but what's sad is they don't see how this is Uncle Tom.
Mm-hmm. They don't see it.
White people love making us entertainers, and as one, I'm speaking as one, but love making us entertainers.
Yes.
Football players.
Yep.
NBA.
Preach.
Comedy. All that. They love to be entertained by us.
Mm-hmm.
They love to see us lockstepping
And also degraded a
stepping,
black
fetching,
man.
and they love all of that.
Yep.
Because I don't see too much of that. I mean, you got Jersey Shore with the little drunk white people on,
I
on
mean,
TV.
and
you
I
know,
like to watch it too, but I mean, yeah.
You know, I mean, I love seeing
It was nice.
white people down bad.
Yeah. Don't do them like that. Look, Tyree, do you have anything to discuss or talk about or anything to say on this
I'm mad they
topic?
cancel cops. That was the only.
Sure. I mean, like back to what you said. I mean, as far as the degrading of women, self-degrading. I mean, just like you said, I mean, there's a lot of impressionable people out here.
Right.
And you kind of get back what you put out.
That's
right?
true.
So for a lot of people, you know what I mean? And this is, again, it's not a black thing, because we look at music videos and we look at TV and we see a lot of people of all kind of races
See different
that
shades.
degrade themselves, right?
Right.
But you know what I mean? They get the response, and they kind of get the attention that that they put out, right? So
Right.
As a message to any woman that is trying to find a good man, right?
Okay.
Most good men aren't attracted to that.
Yeah.
No, sir.
Most good men, quality guys, they want somebody that they can introduce to their family, somebody
Exactly.
that they can take home, right?
Exactly.
And there's a level of respect, you know what I mean, that most guys that hold themselves to a higher standard. Like I tell them, I had this conversation with my boys probably about 4 months ago, and it was about holding yourselves to higher standards. A lot of women tell their daughters about standards and having their standards held high, but it's not a conversation a lot of guys have with their sons, right?
That's right.
So I had this conversation with my boys about holding their standards high, because if you, the same way that a woman would want a guy to kind of raise up to meet their standards, a quality guy should have his standards held high so that a woman can come up to meet him where he's at as well. So
I totally concur on that. Let's clap it
That's
up
it
for
right
Mr.
there.
Tyree, okay? Everybody, we're going to go ahead and wrap up Royale Urban Media TV, also known as Rum TV. I am your host, Royalties. Thank you to my lovely guests. Tyree, thank you so much for being on the show. Thank you to your son.
thank you.
We'll
Thank you
see
for
all
having
you
me.
guys next time, okay?
Thank you very much.
Of course.